We're just gonna go live with me doing weird shit.
Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast for those kind of players that do weird shit.
Hi, I am the weird shit.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? How are you?
Good.
Yeah?
I wasn't here last week.
I know. Tell
I was
us.
at Ren Fair
How
doing fun things.
How was Ren Fair?
I
How was
love our
fun
Ren
things?
Fair. So our Ren Fair is actually kind of big compared to the ones from my original state. So, and there's just like a lot of cool things to do. It's also later in the year, so it's not as fucking hot.
Yeah,
which is nice.
I can imagine that can be quite problematic if people are in corsets and shit like that.
I've worked shows that are like in the middle of summer, and that's miserable.
Never been to a Ren Fair.
Oh, you should go. They're fun.
I mean, I may be wrong. I may be 100% wrong, but I don't think it's something that is as popular over here. Yeah.
That's
I think it's
so
just
fair.
something that is mainly done over in the States, but I will have to Google and find out Ren Fairs in my local area.
I love it.
Totally forgot the day today. Totally forgot what day it was.
If I didn't have a calendar constantly in front of me, I would forget everything. So I feel that on a spiritual level.
So here's the thing. So my computer has recently started, the fan has started like going like a, like a jet engine, like out of nowhere. And my partner's like, well, it's because you have so many tabs open. And I'm like, listen, I've had this computer for 4 years. It's not like the tabs thing is new. It knows what the situation is. So that's clearly not it. So it's either like there's a bunch of like cat fur in the fan, or like I need to take it in and get the fan. So I was like, yesterday after recording, I was like, okay, I need to take it in, but I need to do some work tomorrow. So I'll take it in on Monday. Luckily, I don't have any more recordings until like Wednesday. And
then, lo and behold, this will be the episode.
How many tabs do you have open?
Yeah, that is actually a very valid question.
So how many tabs do you have open?
Right now, my Google is not open, and I don't want to open it because I don't want to set off the fans. But I assure you that it is about 100.
Close some tabs.
Why?
Why don't you just pin the things to your
Are you trying to prove a point?
No, okay, I feel that. It's not on my desktop because, I really try to keep my desktop nice and pristine and in very good working condition. However, on my phone, I've got...
My phone, I have over 500 tabs.
Yeah, I got a lot of tabs. Not that many, but I do have a lot. And most of them are, fashion tabs, which is worse.
Will say that there is an intense amount of satisfaction I get when I've got a multitude of tabs open, obviously not 100 or 500, and I do the right click, close all. It's like,
Jesus Christ, why don't you ever do that?
Oh
my God.
It just feels like I'm committing some sort of digital genocide. It's great.
Let's just so I have open on my phone the best actual play, but it's a list of best actual play podcasts, the best compost tumblers, because at one point I wanted to get a compost tumbler for the backyard, so that because we do
that makes sense.
We do a bunch of vegetables. There's how to hosting a clothing drive using second chances. There is Kickstart Your Mad Science with this Raspberry Pi boot camp. I'm pretty sure that Raspberry Pi... Oh yeah, that's 2019. So that I've had that tab open since
So close the tab! Close it right now! Do it!
There's something called a Peace Island game. It's a video game that I heard was good. There is a tab open to a friend's Facebook post about a book called 8 Dates that they suggested would be really great for a lot of self-help. There is another
Mark's thing. Yes, agreed, Clippy.
I want to know the date of the Facebook post.
The date of the Facebook post. Oh, 2019. Literally November 27th, 2019.
It's 6 years old. It's 1 year. It's
Close it.
It's a year
Just
younger than my daughter.
Close it.
Another Facebook post open from March 25th, 2020 that is reminding me that The Fall is a good movie.
Question.
Yes, accurate.
Have you seen The Fall?
Yes, but I want to see it again. So I just have it as a reminder that I need to see it again.
That would have been
to be fair, most of my tabs that are open are like Thin Blood Alchemy tabs right now because I can't decide which formulas I want to take. So I've got like 20 of them open on my phone.
I also have tabs open that have questions such as, what counts as foul?
Like the bird or
yeah. Like what kind of birds count as foul and what kind of birds do not count as foul? In an article on astrobiology.com about nitrogen inputs into Earth's ancient oceans.
Okay, that's cool. I kind of want to read that.
And in Indian Dalit's reading on some various stuff about reading the book Caste by, I forget who it's by, but it's written by a Black woman in the United States about like how the US has a caste system as well. It's just not the caste system that we have in India. So yeah, there, there's a listen Clippy. I mean, the computer I think I got the computer in 2021, something like that. So it's definitely a 4-year-old computer. It definitely needs a good cleaning out.
I think you are pissing off our viewership.
All tabs on my phone. Like, we're not even going to talk about the tabs that are on my computer.
This is amazing.
Yes. You to know what an interesting person I am. The vast range of tabs on my phone.
So let's kind of move on to the actual, the thing that this podcast is about. Not
TTRPGs.
TTRPG. How's your gaming week been? Let's talk about everybody's gaming week before we kind of move on.
I did the appropriate thing this week when I was having really bad mental health day, and I said I could not play in a game because I would not be able to give it my full attention.
Outstanding.
We're so proud of you.
Well done. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
It's very good. Let's see. I think I played in the high level D&D game, and it was actually a really cool thing. So all of the players I was meeting for the last game was like the first time, or session 0. So this is like the third time that I'm meeting them. But I'm sitting there and I'm like looking at one of the players, and I'm like, Sean, did you go to PAX East? And he's like, yeah, I did. And I was like, did you run any D&D games while you were there? And he was like, were you my druid that turned into an ape and jumped off a dragon? And I was like, that's so cute that you remember that. Because I mean, he would have run this game like I don't know, probably like 10-15 times during the convention. So I was like, that's so nice.
That is wonderful.
And then, but it turns out that because we were specifically sitting at his table because one of my really close friends had met him at D&D in a castle, and so was really really wanted him to be the DM for us. So then we got to talk about my friend for like 10 minutes and how amazing he is, and then I got to message him and be like, we've been talking about you for 10 minutes and how amazing you are, and I really hope that made his day.
That's awesome. As for me, I did Savage Pathfinder again. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I've created a sort of a very quick 20 session campaign that I'm running the players through. They're members of the Pathfinder Society, and they're doing like missions, and I may or may not have a plot thread that is going to connect everything. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. May or may not, but my players.
Does that mean you do? But if they really fuck up, you don't?
No, that means I do, and I will change depending on what they do. If they really fuck up, and I'll make it look like that was my plan all along.
The other game that I did get to play is on the Queer XP. We started playing Emerald Templars, which is a game by, I'm gonna look up who who Emerald Templars is by. And so we had originally tried to play it, and then there was some health issues involved, and so we couldn't play it. We had to restart the game, but I kept the same character. Why isn't this opening? This
because you have too many damn tabs open.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, my Adobe Acrobat is also like, there's too many. You have too many tabs open in Adobe Acrobat. It's
tabs.
angry.
It's just anything that has tabs gets fucking abused.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like closing anything. I'm like a hoarder, in like Animal Crossing.
Hoarder.
I'm a hoarder, period. I'm a hoarder, period.
Yeah, we've not seen her house yet. We only know about the tabs.
There's nobody who is just a tab hoarder and not a hoarder in the rest of their life. It's a pathology.
We only see, this is the little window that we see into Zoop's life, but like,
yeah, there's a reason why it's like this.
Just off camera, there are stacks and stacks of newspapers.
It's mostly magazines. I don't trust newspapers.
Yeah, this one's from 1995.
Listen, you joke, but...
I've actually got Emerald Templars up now on their HIO page. Let's just post a little, seeing as we're mentioning them, let's post.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really cool. It is a system that has a world built in. And so you are generally, when you play in the system, you are playing in the world. The world involves, it has different countries, different regions. Each of those regions was written by a different person. It is very culturally diverse. There is a pantheon of gods. There is forbidden gods and regular gods. There are realms, all sorts of stuff. And there are these Emerald Templars, and the system to make characters. First, you decide your age, because depending on your age changes. Like, you can say, oh, I'm young and inexperienced, or I'm middle-aged and kind of experienced, or I'm elderly and I'm very experienced. And then that changes what number of traits and trade skills and the like you have. The idea being, like, at different ages you have a different amount of skills built up. So while you're all starting at level 1, you can still have a variety of different life stories. And it's not weird where you're like, why is my 96-year-old grandma like a level 1? Like, And so, yeah, I'm gonna have to close Adobe Acrobat. We're gonna close the program. We're not gonna wait for it to respond. But it's very cool.
Smoke, it's because Zoop's actually gone onto Photoshop.
But so I am playing, and then there are different races, and you can be, you can be mix of different races, and they include things like centaurs, kitsune, onis, humans.
Yep.
What else do we have?
Satyrs, Mulgani, Goblin, Risen, Orcs. It's good. Yeah, it looks interesting, to say the least.
So I am a half goblin, half oni, but more goblin than oni. She has the big thing about oni is so the skin color, she's got blue-green skin instead of just the green skin of goblins. The blue is from the splotchy blue is from the oni, and then goblins aren't that muscular, but she's got a weird musculature that comes from the onis, and these little goat horns.
Oh, cute.
They look like little goat horns, but she's mostly goblin, and she is, I describe her as a young, excitable potion goblin. So she's very excited to make potions, throw potions, hit people. And she came from a...
I want to give her a Molotov.
Oh, 100%. She would be so excited. She'd be like,
it sounds like a misfit
proper
character.
Goblins.
She's pretty fun. She was, I think, oh yeah, so she's the second born, and she comes from a city where the firstborn In each household in the city, the firstborn is sent to the Emerald Templars, but for undisclosed reasons, her older sibling was not able to join the Emerald Templars, so she went in their place, which is why she's so young and she's not necessarily made for being a Templar. She's like, I really just want to make potions, but I have to help my sibling out, so I'm going to join the Emerald Templars, but I'm also going to make lots of potions and sell them to people.
That's fun.
And then I'll use my monies to help other people if I need to, or I'll buy my own stuff. And then it's really cool. Like, I have this chakram and I have this slingshot. I can use the slingshot to hit people from far away. I could also throw the chakram, but instead I'm going to take it. I'm just going to whack people.
So just to add that Emerald Templars was nominated for a Crit Award in 2023.
Nice.
Definitely
Not
a game that's worth trying.
I got to play Sagas too. Did I talk to you after I played Sagas?
No.
Yes, I did talk to you.
Did you talk to me after Sagas? Was that last week?
That was last week.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So how is Sagas? Like, I haven't actually played it, but I've read through it a whole bunch.
So Sagas is obviously, if you have Dennis as your GM and he's running the multiverse version, it's really fun because you keep on, like, every once in a while you roll to change the multiverse and you get to reimagine your character in every multiverse. Is slightly difficult to port over some characters over, because I tried porting Purvi Patel over, and she is originally a Masks character with cosmic energy powers, and she uses them mostly as a teenager. She used them mostly as force field or as like a ranged blast. Like, she didn't learn when she was younger, she didn't learn how to like properly like use the cosmic energies for all sorts of things. So it was a little bit difficult to, there's not really a skill that is throwing like energy blasts. Like, you can have fire skill, water skill, wind skill, but nothing that is like throwing projectiles from your hand. You need to have a weapon to throw projectiles. So that was a little hinky to like port over. But I mean, other than that, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the multiverse part of it.
That's cool.
So, to kind of move on to our topic today, this topic has been provided by Misfit. I'm actually going to bring it up because I'll get.
To be fair, I was inspired by a friend after specifically talking about this topic. So,
which friend?
One of the people that I play in a game with, one of the other players is used to being the forever GM. So now they get to be a player, and there's a whole lot of weird, like, I don't experience this because I'm a bit of a player princess, sorry and shit. But like, I know a lot of people who are forever GMs who encounter weird hiccups, like not being able to control the story, or like not having all of the details and kind of being like left in the dark, so to speak.
Okay.
So, like, generally just the struggles that forever GMs face when they get to finally be a player.
Ooh.
I can attest to this because I am a forever GM, and I am
now tell us about it.
I am now in a couple of games, and there are a few things that you struggle with that you wouldn't necessarily expect. The first one, and it's more in games such as like D&D and Pathfinder and Fabula Ultima, where each combat round can take some time. You end up getting really fidgety because you're so used to in combat having to be permanently switched on and having to kind of focus on everything that's going on and plan what my creatures are doing and plan, if they do this, I'm going to do this. So you've constantly active, but the moment that is taken away, you decide what you're doing in a second. You complete your action, you complete your turn, and then you just kind of sit back and you just got to watch and wait and And it is a struggle. So that is the big one for me. But there are others as well. What about, so have you noticed any different? Because Zoop, you GM quite a bit as well, don't you?
So I definitely started full on as a player. For a very long time, I was a player. So it is. I don't think so. Part of it is I haven't the thing Misfit mentioned about like not having control over the world. I have not yet run such a long campaign that I have total control over the world. Michael Diamond does say the brain silence can be difficult for some to adjust to as a player. GMs are so used to doing all the thinking, so it may make many uncomfortable. And that makes sense. And actually that
I
leads
hadn't
me
even
to the
thought about
question
that.
that leads me, do you find as a GM, the other thing that I think also probably plays a role is like, also there is not like a single system that I GM, and there's not a single game, like a system that I play in. But like even while I'm like playing new games, like I'm still able to be like thinking about, okay, what are the, and a lot of times when I'm playing, everybody is new to the game, so I'm still able to put that brain power towards being like the right hand man of my GM in terms of like looking at rules and like giving rule information.
So that leads me into another thing that we kind of go through as well, quite neatly. It's knowing, especially if you're very familiar with a system, such as like Pathfinder is for me. I refuse to GM it anymore because I don't no longer like it, but I know the system like the back of my hand. So knowing where the line is between being helpful and treading on somebody's toes. Trying to figure out, it's like,
see how that.
my rule of thumb is I'll only interject to back the GM up. I won't contradict them.
Yes.
Because even if they do get something wrong, it's their game, it's not mine. However, when a player questions the GM, it's always good to have that backup to kind of go, no, that's been run correctly. So that is my rule of thumb in that regard, where if I'm playing a game, especially when I'm very familiar with it, I won't argue with the GM. I'll always back them up.
Right.
If they're right, obviously. If they're not, then nothing to do with me.
I mean, I do think so. As I said, like a lot of times I'll be playing in games that are new to the GM along with the rest of the players. So in that case, it'll be like, they'll be like, I think, how do I rule this? And I'll be like, I will like quickly look up, find the place in the book, and I'll be like, okay, well, the rules give you this information. Now, how you decide to rule that is up to you. Or like if it was a game that I know really well, I might whisper to the GM or be like, usually I'd rule this like this, or this is what the rules say, but how do you want to run it? Because there definitely for games that like, have a really wide base of rules, there is, people do make changes. So it's like, if you're unsure, this is what the rules say, but you as GM are still in control as to how you want to run it. That's always...
See, that's my logic. It's the GM's game, it's not mine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if a GM...
Not a lot of people approach it like that, though.
Yeah.
I've been at a table with people who are like, but I'm used to GMing, so it should be done this way. And I'm like, but you're not the GM. Right. You're not in the big seat.
One of my biggest gripes with Pathfinder is the players have access to all the rules. So yeah, a lot of the issues at the table stem from, oh, but the book says this. And
yeah, okay, I understand. But
to a point as a GM where you kind of go, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I think like if you run into a point where you say like the book says X, like if a player is like, oh, the book says X, Y, or Z, I'd be like, right, well, the book also says X, Y, and Z, but I let you do A, B, and C. So you really want to argue with me on this point, or are we going to let me control the world?
I mean, I actually had a point where there was, I can't remember the exact details of it, but I as a GM, I misunderstood a particular rule. And when that rule came into play, I kind of went, oh shit, if I'd have known that, I'd have played a different way. And I actually said that, and the argument was, no, hands off the chess piece, that's what and it's like, okay, fair enough. Then about 3 weeks later, the players made the exact same mistake. And I relished in the fact of kind of going, this is a fuck you moment.
Yes. 100%. Once you establish something, unless like I think once the GM establishes something, unless the entire table agrees, including the GM and including the players, agree to then alter the rule, say like, you know what, we originally went with the rule like this, but it's been bogging down gameplay or something like that, I don't think that you should change it.
No. No. I mean, the only problem is then if you make enough change, it's hard to keep track of them. So that's why a lot of times 100%. It is easier just to default to the rules. But that is as a player, you get put in that position, and it's like, oh Jesus. And
crap.
Kind of hand in hand with that, you've got the whole metagaming aspect. Because you know things. You get presented with a creature, and it's like,
how do you deal with that?
You put yourself in the position of the character. You make decisions based on the character. You give me a creature, chances are I'm going to know at least something about it, especially in Pathfinder. But my logic is my character does not. So I have to very consciously make decisions. And sometimes I will even voice that out. I will say, I know something about this. However, my character does not. So I'm going to make I'm going to make the most logical choice that they would make at that moment with the information that's presented.
And you can decide what that logical choice is based on, like, if it's a lizard creature, you can be like, okay, well, my character has faced these lizard creatures, and this is what worked for those lizard creatures, so therefore that's what I'm going to try for this lizard creature. Or you can say, well, that mushroom is blue, and everything that I've fought so far that's blue has been resistant to fire, so I am not going to use fire. Or you can be like, what? I am a conjuration wizard that specializes in ice magic, so obviously my first go-to is going to be ice magic.
Yeah, as a GM, I enforce that. As a GM, I will kind of go, right, give me your logic. Give me the logic.
Good. I love that.
Give me the logic that you're using, and if it's a ridiculous leap, I'm gonna kind of. But if it's something, because this creature is missing half of its fucking face, I'm gonna assume it's undead. You kind of go, well, yeah, all right then, I'll let you have that.
That makes sense.
It's that, or it's half. It's what's his face? Two-Face.
Two-Face. Yeah, I mean. That is true. Unfortunately,
he's got am I going to be lawful or am I going to be evil thing going on? I think that's what Two-Face's deal is.
Other things that I've noticed as a player, we've done. You said, shit, I've lost where I was. See, I actually made notes.
You guys, you made notes? Yeah.
I made notes.
I'm rubbing off on people.
Fucking yeah. But I've only got the one tab, so you haven't rubbed off that fucking man.
Just you wait, it's a sickness.
I mean, I am a kind of a tab baby too, I'm sorry.
This one is not necessarily just because I GM, it's because I also world build as well. Sometimes I get trapped in a sort of taking on people's stories. So the GM is running the GM for Fabula Ultima is running this amazing campaign, and he'll come up with, a plot point. And I get so roped up in the, oh yeah, but what if it could be this and what if it could be that? And you go down this fucking rabbit hole. of all these possibilities, and then they do something completely different. And it's a weird sensation because you kind of go, no, not that there's anything wrong with what they've done. It's just you've kind of built it up so much in your mind because you are used to in game kind of going, oh, I can do something with that bit of information. I can do something with this bit of information. So that for me, I find, I won't say a problem, but it does kind of occupy my mind quite a bit when I'm playing a game.
So here's as someone who does not run lots of games and who has had forever GMs at their table, I like to crown them you are the official rules layer and only you are allowed to rules lawyer, and please help me run this game in like making sure that I'm at least running these rules correctly. So like I do actually enjoy having forever GMs. I know some people are a little weird by that, but like I am quite comfortable and prefer having at least one forever GM at my table when I do run games so that they can be like, okay, but Pookie, like, here's how this works for next time. And that makes me kind of happy to have that. It is really my only experience because again, I'm a bit of a player princess.
Well, so you can either have so it depends on like how big. So like for VTM or
I would never run VTM. Fuck no.
But for like VTM, D&D, Pathfinder, like the really rules expansive games, like a forever GM is important. In a game that is less rules expansive, you just need someone who is good at mechanics. So like when Taz ran oh god, what did she run? She ran Perils and Princesses, and she was like, the key is just to have a Zoop there, because Zoop is good at looking at mechanics and sending them over.
Yeah, I run a lot of Powered by Apocalypse stuff, so like
yeah. So just having someone who's
who
good
knows it
at, like, you know, even if they don't know that Powered by the Apocalypse game, the understanding the overall.
Yeah, most of the rule sets, like the core rule sets, are very similar.
Exactly.
So you can kind of adapt
the architecture. The architecture is the word that I was looking for. If you have someone who understands the architecture of Powered by the Apocalypse, that is really helpful.
Well, I won't necessarily designate a rules lawyer, but I will, in moments where the actual rule escapes me, I'll get somebody who's not doing anything at the moment, just kind of go, oh, look that up for me if you won't mind, and I'll just carry on. So, you know, if it is a particular rule that we kind of need to get right, because 9 times out of 10, I'm happy to just kind of make a ruling and then I'll look it up and kind of make apologies if I fuck it up down the line. But
it's so fair.
Other times it's, all right, you're not, you know, you've just had your turn. We've got another 10 minutes before you have another go. Do you mind just looking up this rule and seeing what it actually does? And then we can kind of play can play it that way going forward.
Can we ask Clippy to expand a little bit on this? Reminds me of a concept of meeting a game at its level.
I think I understand what Clippy means because we've talked about it a few times. So basically it is taking the mechanics and the story and just being there in that game in the moment, not bringing any excess information or outside or like that metagame, not bringing any of that in and really kind of playing the game as intended.
Is that also having to do with like the fact of like understanding a game like Honey Heist or Crash Pandas is going to be at a different level than a VTM game? And like you have different, like some games are just more about, you know, being a little silly, and some games are more about telling a whole story.
I mean, in my brain, that is it. I can't speak wholeheartedly for Clippy, but like in my brain, that's how that is like meeting a game on its level. So if it's supposed to be a sillier game, like Honey Heist is kind of a nonsensical shenanigan based game where you play a game like Cult that is supposed to be exploring the depths of your broken psyche. like meeting those games and going in with the intention that you are going to play them with the written intention.
Yeah, I mean, some games are very much created to not only establish a setting, but also to establish a mood and an ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like going against that particular grain because I find it funny. But, like, for
That's fair.
example, Delta Green is meant to be dire. It's meant to be, in a way, hopeless. That's
Mm-hmm.
the sense that you're meant to be given, that anything you do is ultimately futile. Call of Cthulhu has a similar sort of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a game which is a bit more lighthearted, then you play it a bit more lighthearted. But like I say, I do like to go against the grain of that because I'm thinking of.
But I think you can do that in a character way. Like your character could just be a jovial, happy-go-lucky kind of person who's just stuck in a horrific setting, and like, how the fuck does someone deal with that?
I mean, Clippy
I
has
think
expanded.
I've mentioned this.
Sorry,
go
Clippy
ahead.
has expanded, and it says in Honey Heist, you are a bear, and you should make choices based on the thoughts of a bear, which I think is fair enough.
That makes sense.
Of course, that that depends on like what you assume the thoughts of a bear are, to a certain extent. But I definitely understand that.
We got some great. We got Yogi Bear. We got
Smokey
Bear, Smokey.
The thoughts
like,
of a
don't
bear
start
could be something along the lines of women feel safer with me than with men. Could be. It could be. You're just saying.
We're just saying. One of my, I think I've said this before, but one of my favorite lines that I've ever said in a game was, that's the first dead body I've ever seen. And the second and the third. Like,
see, that's great. Because, like, again, how would your character react for seeing a dead body for the first time? Like, that should fuck somebody up.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. It doesn't cause that panic that if you're seeing a dead body for the very first time, like, I've never seen a dead body. I've seen like animals on the side of the road, but I've never seen like
I have gotten to see a dead body. My first year of grad school, we got to go down and we got to it was my first time seeing a dead body, and we got to I mean, God bless the person who donated their body to allow us to find out what a brain feels like and lungs feel like and intestines feel like and stuff like that. Yeah, but that was also my first dead body.
See, like, I've never.
And Zoop commemorated the moment by opening a tab.
But like that's in a scientific nature. What if you just like walking in the woods and like you trip on a hand that's sticking out of the ground?
Lose my mind.
I would freak the fuck out. I would scream so loud and probably run away. I'd like to think that, but honestly, I have the like freeze, stop in place.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea how I would react to a dead body. I will let you know once I
think we do have to kind of make the very clear distinction of seeing a dead body and finding a dead body. I think that's
fair. Yeah. I mean, very different things.
Very different things.
Don't get me wrong. I have seen a couple of dead bodies, not entirely pleasant experiences either way, but I've never fucking found one. And I really fucking hope I don't.
Let me say,
there's also finding a dead body where you expect to find a dead body and finding a dead body where you do not expect to find a dead body.
Yeah, like there's what are the conditions? And like I want people to bring that real world sort of how would you react? How would you personally react to finding a dead body in the woods or like floating in a swimming pool or something? Like, I don't know.
No, I don't even want to hazard again.
That reminds me. So humans have a corpse to water ratio of what they're willing to swim in, because people are willing to swim in the ocean and the ocean is full of corpses, but you wouldn't swim in a pool that had a corpse in it. And so,
well, not while the corpse is in it, but if it's removed, and yeah, whatever. Yellow.
Not every human may have the same level of carbs.
I mean, depends how much I paid for the holiday, to be fair.
That too. Yeah, there's how much money was sunk into this vacation?
Yeah, I mean, if
how
I'm paying
recently
premium
was it
for
removed?
How big was it?
And
Yeah.
does the pool have a wave machine? Because the problem might solve itself.
Damn, we got dark today, y'all.
Do we put trigger warnings on this?
You should probably put content warnings on this episode. I feel like
it'll be
body
fine.
conversation needs to be in there.
It'll be fine.
Very just like
this'll
you
be
know, just like a
content
warning of like what is it like? I'll think of the words.
I feel anybody who's watching this show kind of knows at this point that, you know, some weird shit's gonna get said.
Speaking of, this is a beautiful time to remind people respect players and GMs, lines and veils. I really one of my favorite things about getting to be on a talk show where we talk about TTRPGs is to remind people about safety features and consent and how all of that leads to a better game.
No, I mean 100%. I couldn't agree more.
I actually, my favorite thing, especially if I'm at a table that's playing more intense games, is where the GM or storyteller, or what the fuck ever you want to call them, stops and is like, hey, this is getting into some people's lines and veils territory. If we keep going down this, who's comfortable? Do I need to stop it now? And like, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing those little check-ins.
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing the check-ins. And I think anybody who, because I have seen it, and unfortunately, where there is a certain subsection of this industry that, you know, somehow opposed to just that additional check, and it baffles me. You know, in a situation where you are meant to be providing a shared, enjoyable experience, to make those assumptions that, oh, everybody's going to be fine with this. No, just double check. It can't fucking hurt.
It reminds me, someone had remembered, I don't know if you all remember on Facebook, there was the ant colony group where everyone pretended to be ants. And so there was a group on Facebook.
Bring up the tab.
No, I don't have the tab.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
There was a group where everybody joined and it was like everybody pretends to be ants. And so somebody would be like, I found a Tootsie Roll. And everyone would be like, we go to the Tootsie Roll and we lift. But they would say L space I space F space T. And so like every time there was like a command for all the ants to follow, they would do it in that spaced out way. And then somebody was like, listen, people with screen readers, that is actually it makes it harder for them to read what's going on. So let's get rid of the spaces. And the group literally fractured into two, where there was a population of people who were like, fuck those with screen readers, and then there was people who were like, fuck you, who are saying fuck you with screen readers. We believe in doing things for everybody. And it's like, it was a, you know, everywhere there is those two groups, and I'm pretty sure that you can find a through line of like people who do not want to do things to think about other people's screen reader needs, to people who don't care if other people don't have SNAP benefits. Like, just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Hey, listen, as a dyslexic person, I really, really need people to like get with the fucking program sometimes, because my biggest gripe in the AP industry is when showrunners will give you the game information day of. Like, y'all, I'm really upfront about being dyslexic. It has cost me like seats at tables. It has. I'm not even gonna lie about that. All I ask showrunners is to like get me the game information a couple days ahead of time, because being dyslexic, I cannot sit and read an entire fucking game in a day. I can't do it. It physically hurts my brain and my eyeballs. Like, I cannot fucking do it. And I really, really wish people would like be more understanding about that. It makes me crazy.
No,
Sorry. Let me get on my
No,
high horse for a
there
second.
is no
Ride that
sorry.
high
I was
horse.
just thinking, like, I wonder if anyone has put, because that is actually not something that I've thought about before, and
Most people
I
don't, and
am
that's okay.
ashamed. I am
No,
ashamed
no,
that I
it's
haven't
okay.
thought about that before. No, but I'm saying, I wonder, do we have like a comprehensive list of like courteous game runner
Things.
info?
I'm really in this industry and in this community, I'm weary of putting lists together because people get really butthurt about that.
Mm.
But I do have people that I feel very comfortable sitting at a table with
No,
because they
no,
have
not
like
lists of people. I mean lists of
okay.
like things like consider the fact that your players may be dyslexic and get them game information in a certain amount of time. Like, consider that your audience may have hearing impaired people and have captions, like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Like
Not lists of people.
captioning?
Lists of people is weird.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just gonna put it
that's
out
weird.
there. I'm in favor of making a list of cunts.
No, I'm pretty
I'll
sure
post
that
it.
list
It can
exists.
go
I'm
on-
pretty
it can-
sure there's multiple
It can
cunt
go.
lists.
It can go on my socials. It's fine. People hate me anyway, so fuck them.
They do not. They just don't know
I'll
you.
at every single one of them. By the way, we have all got together. We had a conversation about it. You're a cunt.
Has anyone read all of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books?
No.
Has anyone
Not
read
all of them.
those?
No.
Okay. After Hitchhikers, there's two others. And you get in the second one, you get introduced to my favorite side character, which is an alien that goes around and insults people in alphabetical order. He's phenomenal. I love this character. And like when they fuck up, insulting these people in alphabetical order will start completely over. So there is people who've been insulted more than once by the same person.
Yeah, I remember this, like,
That's
meaning
brilliant.
not like the insults are in alphabetical order, but they have to go through the entirety
The
of universe
people.
and time.
Yes, in alphabetical order and insult each and every one of them. They're my favorite little gremlin side character in a book. They have no relevance to the plot in any way, shape, or form, but they are off living their best life.
Okay, speaking of A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, do you remember the part where Arthur Dent floats by ignoring gravity? Everyone's tried that, right?
No, I unfortunately the laws of gravity are a little too
You've
ingrained
never
into my brain.
tried jumping and convincing gravity to forget about you?
No. That sounds like I'm gonna get hurt. I have, however, reached out to touch an animal and actively been like, hey, don't get mad, I'm about to touch you. So like I understand the concept a little bit. We got really off topic. I'm so sorry.
We got really off topic, but now that we're off topic, can I mention one other game that I played in this week? Well, I didn't play in the game, right? So Shadow Sylvia ran a game of Succulent Sorcerers. I think that's what it's called, to raise money for Roll D5 to get them to PAX U, which also, if you're not going to PAX U, make sure you join Convention Zero. We are currently putting together, or we have the list out, or the form out, so that you can apply to run games or run events. Anyways, back to the idea. So I was like, what is a good way to raise money? Because games like Succulent Sorcerers, where it's just like, you know, you only have 2 stats to roll under, it's like hard to give a lot of incentives. So I wanted to tell y'all, in case you didn't watch it, about the incentive idea that I had. So to do this, you need good role players for sure. But the idea is that I gave them all challenges. We started with one challenge for the group, and people can donate either to give a challenge to the whole group or give the challenge to one specific player. And the idea is whichever player completes the most challenges by the end gets, like, wins. So you're counting points. But these are challenges like, you might give a challenge, make something a hat for your character to wear. So, like, in if you put that challenge to the whole group, whoever is the first character who in game, like make it make sense in the game, make something into a hat for them to wear, gets a point. Or open a door without checking for traps. They obviously can't do that if there's no doors, but when they get to a door, open that door without checking for traps, or give a witty one-liner as your character. So you can't just like say something out of the blue and have that count, but like if in the middle of like your conversation going on, you say something witty, you would get a point for that. What else did I have? Have your character admit a fear. So again, just fun. Like I love just that. Like not in the mid, like you can't just randomly be like, oh, I'm afraid of the dark, like out of nowhere. But if someone's like, we have to go into this dark room, you can be like, I'm afraid of the dark. Like it gives you a chance to like create something. Work the word lemon into the conversation. Find a way. Yeah. So you can be like you as the player can describe. So she comes in and her hair is curls of lemon colored hair, or you can be like, you can like work it in like, ooh, does anyone smell that lemony scent? Where's that coming from?
I bet Shepard would be good at that.
No, don't you even fucking start.
I had another one. So in this particular case, all of the characters were succulents in a wizard's greenhouse. So one of the challenges was share a memory involving the wizard.
Mm-hmm.
And you can obviously change what the memory is involving based on the story you're telling.
Hey, chat, if you need any sort of ideas, you might want to save this episode and come back to whatever timestamp this is.
Yeah, keep it open on a tab.
Keep it open on a tab.
In this particular case, they were succulents, so I had the challenge manifest a flower at an appropriate time. So, like, I imagine, like, if they were super happy or something like that, they might manifest, like, a flower might bloom.
Yeah.
So, but like the donations are specifically to donate to give, because the group only gets one challenge at a time. So either donate to give the group multiple challenges so that it increases the chances of them getting points, or to give a specific person a challenge that they have the entire game to fulfill. And they can hold on to as many challenges as they want to.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
And then you give people, you give the winner a prize at the end.
Aw.
No, that does sound good. And plus, anything that kind of encourages more role play or encourages more out-the-box thinking.
Yeah,
can just make the session a lot more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
It's really helpful to have a challenge master for it, because like there were definitely times where I'd give the challenge and someone would just like, this wasn't what happened, but if I said work the word lemon into conversation, one of the players was just like, lemon, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't count. I said work it into the conversation.
Yeah, you need some form of adjudication.
I'm sitting by the campfire cleaning my sword with lemon and salt.
That's really good.
You 100%, you got it. There was
asking an NPC about a lemon pie.
No, I'm gonna spray you with a fucking water bottle.
No. You know I had to. I really did. Good old Shepard.
No. Oh God, Zope, you look so confused.
I am. I'm willing. I'm waiting.
Tell you all right. So in our Parasan game that we both play in, one of the other characters, Bragdon, told Shepard to go to one of the local brothels and ask about a lemon party.
So I heard lemon pie originally, and now I'm even more concerned.
Okay.
Why would be even...
I'm assuming lemon pie is not on one of your tabs.
No. Open one.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Don't.
Is lemon pie a thing? I assumed it was a pie made out of lemons.
Well, yes, there is a lemon meringue pie, and that is a thing, and they're delicious. What we are talking about is not something that you ever want to look up. Ever.
No, yeah, don't look it up.
No.
Nah, just don't bother.
Okay.
So
I'm looking it up after this, right?
You've been warned. That's all I can say. So, yeah, one of the other characters mentioned it as a bit of a fourth wall breaking sort of joke, but because Shepard is very
So
unaware
naive.
and he's naive, and he didn't
So
get the
naive.
answer he was looking for when he first started, so it
No.
it is now his quest to figure out what this thing is. So every time he's speaking to an NPC, he will ask it. He will ask the question.
Or in Mouse's case, my character, because Mouse was brought into this, and Mouse is a sweet bean. He's giant hyena man. He's a sweetheart. My character went downstairs, and the first time that she's ever been seen, because like she does not walk around as a creepy plant lady majority of the time. No fam. In fact, most of the time she like hides out his hair on one of the party members' heads. But she walked down, asked for a lemon, brought it back up, like punctured it with her little thorns, and tossed it to Mouse, who then started chewing on it and was like, "I don't like this." And that was like, yes, a clever way around this. So now whenever Shepard brings it up, Mouse is like, "I don't like lemons. No thanks."
No, it is a fun little
It is
side
our
quest that
inside
Shepard has.
joke.
But I think that's pretty much all we really can say about the topic that we were originally on. So I do want to kind of spend the last few minutes going over some of the responses.
I want to add one thing
Go
to our original topic.
Go.
My player princesses, when you finally get a GM at your table, help them get into their character. And it is very important for at least one person at the table to recognize that they might be struggling to connect with a singular character and not a ton of them.
That is a really, really important.
Our job as player princesses to help those people out, because we are probably the ones with a lot of experience getting really deep into a character. So like just help your forever GMs when they're players, help them out, get them used to like single character role play. Help them really think about their particular character and what their character is doing, and get them kind of grounded into that.
That is a really good point. I didn't even think of that.
Sorry, thank you.
No, 100%. So I just want to quickly, for the last few minutes, is kind of go over some of the responses that we've had over the past couple of weeks. I won't be reading out every one of them, but I'll be reading out a couple. These particular responses were in relation to a short that came out of us basically saying, have you ever had players use their backstories to cheat? And one of the examples I used was the whole touch by the gods sort of trope. Red Snorlax over on TikTok says, who is that fun for though? Cheating at D&D sounds weird to me. We agree.
Agreed.
100% agree.
Hard agree, yeah.
The Rogues Retreat said, we've seen a DM shut it down so expertly with the you can certainly try vibe, but the whole party knows it's never going to happen.
That's a good one.
And Enepsigos said, I have had one touch by the gods scenarios I allowed. My homebrew word had a god of misfortune, and they wanted to have that be a reason for why their wild magic sorcerer was unstable with their magic. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I do love that.
That is a
good
really
one.
good way of doing it.
It's a really clever way of dealing with that.
Over on YouTube, Michelle English Pizer says, absolutely, I will roll with it and use it to my advantage. And Mars Mech said, I have a character that is a descendant of a god, but I just asked the DM if I can do something a little extra, or if I roll really good, I blame it on that.
Like that.
Yeah, so those are really good responses. And, you know, if you want to add anything, if you want to kind of comment on anything that we've covered during the show, please do. And we'll go over them next week. We will read them out and, you know, give you credit.
You're also allowed to yell at me about my whole tabs deal. We'll read those in private. Don't worry. But like, yeah,
please
don't worry.
Zope overcome their addiction to multiple tabs open
with this problem.
We need to.
And I think it's very important that we show understanding.
It's okay to close one a day.
Yeah,
one a day. One a day. That's all we ask.
One a day is good. Yeah,
but
just go through all of them. Shh! Don't make it stressful.
Sorry.
Listen, I closed like 5 today, so I think we're doing really good. Yeah, I know.
Right click, close all. Just get that satisfaction.
Effing chat.
All right, I do believe that's about all we've got time for. So, guys, if you want to plug something, now's the time to do it.
My podcast is finally out. We have 2 episodes out, and we drop every week. Every Wednesday, you will get a new episode. Follow us on these adventure. It's a time. Please read all of the content warnings before you go in. It is really important because this is a VTM podcast and we get a little dark. But it is out. Please go listen. It is you can find it at Dubious Creatures Presents Vampire with No Name. You can also find it on most of the socials. We're on the major ones. Yeah, and we're on Spotify and most of the popular podcatchers. We also have a YouTube channel. Please go listen. This week, the character prologue that's coming out is Jeremy, who my character is like would burn down a city for. And I personally, if anything happens to Jeremy, I will fucking riot. But you need to listen and understand why. Go listen. It's great. Yes.
All right, Zoop.
All right. The main thing I'm going to plug right now, because I mean, you're going to hear me plug every week anyways. The main thing I'm going to plug right now is Convention Zero. Look up Convention Zero on Blue Sky or Threads. And we have posted the link to sign up to run games or run events, panels, parties, any sort of thing. We're just so excited. We're going to be dropping the cards soon for it. The actual Discord does not open to the general public until the week of, which the convention goes from November 21st to November 23rd, the same time that PAX U is happening. And yeah, we would love to have you.
Wonderful. I just want to say a big thank you to the Dungeon Maestro for letting us use all that jazz as our intro and outro music. If you want to catch up on more of what we do and want to get in touch with us, you can find all the information at toolegit2crit.com. I want to thank Zoop and Misfit for joining me this evening. It's been a fantastic chat. I've had a great laugh. And most importantly of all, I want to thank everyone for spending time out of their busy day listening to us waffle on about role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.